Okay. Good evening, everyone. We're happy to meet you all. We're here to show you another opportunity in Texas, the state that we start to love because we have already presence there. We do have a presence in different states, in Illinois, in Pennsylvania, and now in Texas. Used to be in Maine and New Jersey. So this particular presentation is very attractive, and let's just start with Sergio, and I will share my screen, and he will do small walkthrough presentation based on so-called one-pager. If everyone will see that, and then we can switch to full scale. All right, Sergio, the stage
Yeah,
is yours.
awesome. Well, thanks everybody for joining or watching this recording. So this is just a quick summary of the Pines at Richmond in Texarkana. I'm just going to give a quick summary, like kind of like an investment summary, high level, and then we'll get into we'll get into the weeds and the details. So this is a 60 unit value add project in Texarkana. Um, it is, like I said, it's a value add. So we do have a business plan that's pretty involved and active. I'll just give you a quick rundown here. So the property snapshot. So it says it's got a big range here, Roman, 63 or 83. I don't know if we never narrowed down the year built.
No, that was
Um,
renovated in 83 originally.
that's right. So it's a 60 unit, two-story, mostly brick building, primarily two bedrooms, and it does have amenities, which kind of involve the value add pool, fitness center, in unit laundry, and then some other small amenities there in the area. Um, the quick market and location overview. Texarkana is technically split down the middle between Arkansas and Texas. So there is pretty much an Arkansas side and a Texas side. So there's kind of two of everything. There's two major, Walmarts, two major retailers of almost every type. One on the Texas side and on the Arkansas side. There are two major colleges in the area, and just a lot of demand for workforce housing and student housing. Um, I'll touch a little bit about our capital structure. So our plan is to raise approximately 1.3 million in exchange for a 70% ownership share to the LPs. That money kind of includes everything from our down payment, our due diligence costs, reserves, acquisitions, value add, all that kind of stuff. Um, we do have an assumable loan, which kind of makes this deal even more attractive. So we're assuming 5.5% interest loan that's currently on the property, which is significantly better than what we could get at today's rates, today's market. Um, but and then I'll just touch again on what our plan is with the value add. So we obviously want to stabilize it into the mid 90% range. Currently, it is running around 77, 78% occupancy, which is good to kind of get us started and gives us a lot of room to add value. Obviously, through rental increases, more efficient management, and just getting that occupancy up to where it needs to be. Um, what else, Roman, am I missing here about the area, maybe, or
Basically, the minimum investment we're looking for is $50,000. And what else is good about Texarkana? In addition that it has two Walmarts, but it has one post office. It's only one post office that serves two states in the United States. That makes it famous. All right.
just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Obviously, a 7% preferred return and a projected 20% annualized return throughout our 5 to 7 year hold period.
Okay. This is that's one pager. That's the essential scope of investment in short version, and every one of you will receive that type of documents. If not already, I'm not sure if everyone already received that. But let's just switch. Let me just stop for a second And let me just switch to our slideshow. Just a second. Let me just open it up. Let me just share my screen. Okay, and let's just set it in the view that everyone will be able to see. Just a second. Come on. Come on. Okay. All right. Let me start with this. This is a full presentation of the same property that Sergio just described. It's a Pine at Richmond. It has the name. Location is at Texarkana, Texas. It is 60 units, Class C area, Class C property. That's what we like, and that's what we're looking for in any acquisition that we have. We can offer 7% preferred rate of return, with possibility of projected annualized return about between 17 to 20%. Total purchase price is $3.25 million. And what we're looking for is capital to raise the capital in amount of 1.3 million from investors and for the equity. Before we can proceed, I have to tell that we're not soliciting, we're not professional tax advisors, we're not professional and legal advisors. Everyone and every investment has the risk involved. So everyone who wants to participate has to do his own due diligence. And that's the obligation of ours to be clear on that side. So the team that works on this one, I can talk about myself. I'm Roman Kirchner, managing partner, doing this business full time for last, I would say, 20 plus years. I'm realtor in Pennsylvania. I'm good in underwriting and analyzing market and the deals itself. And I'm looking as a lead member, I'm looking as an asset manager of every investment that we have. The next one is Alex, please.
Yeah, my name is Alex. I'm an operating partner. I joined the team 5 years ago, and I've been doing all kind of different stuff in the real estate, including fixer-uppers. I have a track of like 18 fixer-uppers I've done, also brand new construction development. And also, I've been managing 42 unit apartment complex back in New York. Also, I have my own portfolio of single families and apartments condominium in New York and other states. And right now, I'm fully operating in a multifamily apartment complexes business. So that's my full-time job. And I'm glad to be surrounded by this great team we have and enjoy the ride, enjoy the presentation at this point.
Yeah,
Sergio, go ahead. You're the next.
Sergio, right?
Yeah, my name's Sergio. I am in York, Pennsylvania, so just around South Central PA. I'm a full-time broker, so I specialize in small multifamily and small retail. Um, Run a brokerage team of about 20 agents, and we had a property management arm, so got extensive experience in property management. We managed a few hundred units for a few years. We ended up getting out of that in the local market. Um, yeah, I partnered up with Roman and Alex here a few years ago, and we've been just trying to acquire good assets in mainly the Sun Belt area. I do have my own small portfolio here in York, mostly small multifamily, but definitely trying to be more aggressive here on the syndication stuff. I'll since Tim couldn't make it today, I'll just kind of briefly introduce him. Tim's down in Houston, Texas. Him and I, teamed up with Roman around the same time. Um, he's a pretty big passive investor, so he's got a good amount of probably about a few hundred doors in passive investments, and he also owns a pretty sizable single family portfolio down in the Houston metro area. Um, and yeah, we've been working together for years and just looking to bring on good partners and acquire more units.
All right, great. And another member, our team member is Inessa Galuzina. She's she's great in accounting. She has deep knowledge in information technology, and he also joined us many years ago. Probably 10 years ago. She is also managing partner, and on the previous slide, you will see the Welles Holding. That's the brand name of the company that we are working under. That's the Welles Holding, and we have a website, and we'll show you the website address so you can always check it, what we're doing and how we're doing this. So Welles Holdings, it's not the company who owns anything, but the company who on the brand on which we're working. All right. Okay, I don't know. The next one basically shows why we have unfair advantage from other people. Maybe Sergio can take a look on that, and maybe he can top in.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, go ahead, finish.
Okay.
Yeah, so we definitely have a competitive advantage in the Texarkana market. We really, we do have a 22 unit building out there, so we've already, really done a deep dive on the market, all the market metrics, built a lot of relationships down there with brokers and management companies, contractors, all that kind of stuff. So, we're not stepping into a new market with this one. We really understand, how it all works down there, um, having those relationships will really just smoothen the curve, and especially with this being a value add, those relationships will just be even that much more important. Um, Local banks too. We did connect with a local bank down there that I'm not sure if we're going to need them on this one, but we do have some good debt partners down there. And most importantly, can't forget, we have an excellent property manager down there. She helped us turn our last building around. She's been very involved in, scoping out this building and, giving us her thoughts, site visits, all that kind of stuff. So our competitive advantage really is just the economies of scale. We're there already. So really, we're just adding to an existing portfolio with this one.
Mhm. And just to add a little bit to this one, we do have why did we get that property? It was presented to us by the broker that was brokeraging for the first opportunity, and because of our performance, he was the first one to call us and present this off-market deal based on our performance. That's about why we feel comfortable and we feel good about this location, because we know that from one Walmart to another Walmart, street by street. All right. Texarkana, location-wise, it's northeast of Texas. It's a city about 37,000 people. It's not primary, it's not secondary, it's tertiary markets. And in today's market, primary market doesn't perform very well. Secondary and tertiary markets will do much better from our experience and from any reports that you can find online or using AI. You can confirm that as well. All components that we're looking for are in this market anyway. Population, this Texarkana MSA is about 147,000 people, and median income, which is also important for renters, is above $50,000. That will dictate us that we can use our strategy to organically raise rent 3% year over year. Location-wise, it's not far. It's a few blocks from the college and commercial corridor that's involved restaurants and retails. And what is important, the trend on the crime, it's going down. It's more than 18% year over year, even though the crime always exists everywhere, but it goes down, which is good indication. And the overview of the property itself, It's a 60 units workforce community on the Richmond Road. It's a classical old units, and it's strategically it's much better location than anything else that we have around this area. And our manager already checked the property and walked through few units. We already have all recommendations and all estimates, approximate estimates for renovations. That basically how the property looks like as a rent-ready units. It's not bad rent-ready repair works. I would say that's pretty much what we would be doing, except probably I don't like the carpets overall. So we probably can do it with engineering planks or anything like that. The target for two bedrooms, a little bit more than $1,000, and one bedroom, a little bit more than $800. Okay, the pool is right now is nobody using it, but from the words of our manager who spoke with people and from our discussion with the seller, it's in operating condition but needs to be started up, which is kind of interesting anyway. What we're looking to do to bring occupancy to 90+%, which is feasible with extra effort on our side, so we should be there and coordinating all repair works. Currently, we have about 14 units vacant, and we have estimate for everything already, and contractor already can do probably 1 or 2 per week. So he is aggressively looking for a job, and he will get it because he will be the one who will be doing the job. That's an overview of population that we already covered on the previous one pager. Nothing outrageous here. That's just repetition of what you saw on one page presentation, except that forecast of population growth is 1.5%, which is good. Yeah. Risk analysis, which is important because when you're doing underwriting, you have to think how it's going to work. It's a older vintage, which might be a little bit challenging, but from talking with our manager, allocation of funds for repair works, pretty much within $100,000, it should be enough to cover everything. But we're still thinking maybe we need a little bit more. Contractor costs are basically also unpredictable, except the one that we know that this contractor will do the good job anyway because he's been vetted out and he's working on our existing property. Everything else been estimated in our underwriting, so I don't want to spend too much time on this one. If you will have any questions later on, please ask. How that will work, we show here example of how, based on $100,000 investment, we're offering 7% return, preferred return. So it means, for those who don't know what preferred return means, the investors will be the first one to receive the cash flow after we will pay all expenses, including management fee, expenses on repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and so on and so forth. So we working for 7% to be able to pay to investors, and we don't want to work for free. So our piece in the game, skin in the game, to make it work for us as well. So that's represents how the slide represents how you can get to 17%. So every year, investors will get $7,000 based on 100,000 investment, and after 4 or 5 years, we can either refinance it or sell it with additional 10% year-over-year return. Sources and uses, basically, we show here how we're going to use the money that we're raising. In red color show the closing cost and reserves, a little bit more than $200,000, which comprise of closing cost, loan points, and acquisition fee. Everything else is shown as extra expenses that we'll have to show at the time of closing. $100,000 for capital improvements, 1 year insurance policy that we verify already with the broker. Capital reserves, about $300 per door, and operating reserve, another $142. That's what we will have to show after closing operating income. Like Sergey mentioned, that we're working on acquisition based on assumption loan. If it wouldn't be assumption loan, the deal doesn't make sense. So that's our the way out. We'll have to obtain that more loan, otherwise it's not going to work for us, and we will drop it. So this will be verified by us during due diligence that we already negotiated with the seller. We have 30 days due diligence. In that time frame, we will do physical, financial, and all other and legal due diligence stuff. So we will be there during inspection because we have good inspection team already. We hire them first time, and we like what they did. It still has 10 years. The mortgage has another 6 years of interest only payments, which allowed us to feel comfortable paying 7% preferred return. We know how to do risk mitigation. On this slide, we show our approach. Right now, we have about 23% vacancy. Our underwriting shows conservative 14% vacancy, plus 2% of other losses, and we're assuming not aggressive but organic growth of 2 to 3%. Expenses inflated to 3% year over year, and we know that we already consult with the contractors. Everything else I already mentioned. Purchase this DSCR, debit service credit ratio, is great because any bank will be looking for anything more than 1.25, which means that property should provide 25% more of income than expenses. That's what DSCR stands for. That's what every bank is working on. And we think that we can achieve occupancy 90+% in 1 or 2 quarters, and that property will be cash flow as a cash cow. We have a few exit plans. We can sell the property to institutional buyers, meaning that we can sell this one and existing one as a package. We can refinance and hold cash flow. We can use 1031 exchange. For those who might be interested, we can have a separate meeting for that. And we base that on 7% cap rate at the time of sale. That's basically breaks down how we can see the strategy, exit strategy, in details: refinancing, early sale, and portfolio sale. I don't want to repeat myself, but that's I just discussed. I just show that on the previous slide. How are we going to communicate with investors? We're not the people who are going to take the money and run. We usually do quarterly meetings. We do quarterly distributions. We can show any documents, and we can do any additional communication as needed. If any problems, we're not hiding those problems. We're showing them right up front. So if any problems arise, so we want people to know what we're dealing with, because our strategy, we can deal with the problem. We hate surprises like everyone else. The way how you can communicate with us is show here my name and Alex's name. And if you will need all other teams' information, we can provide it. Please use QR code, or you can use that phone numbers for your information. So at this time, I will stop it. I will stop sharing, and if you have any questions, go ahead, please ask it.
Yeah. Right now, basically, we're going over Q&A, and Berk, like, That's interesting. You just only like you at this point, so it's all time is yours. You can ask all possible questions, and the cool part, remember we spoke about it on a real estate event. We actually honest and open to any questions, like, and there is no stupid questions as well, because it's like a serious business. It's very interesting business as well. And whatever you have in your head, if you don't understand something, go ahead, ask us. We would love to actually answer the questions you got. We actually love it when the people asking questions. It means
Yep.
that they involved, you
Yep.
know.
Well, I guess the first question, most important one for me, I see for qualified investors on there, I am not an accredited investor. I'm not making that much money. So does that still qualify for that or?
Yeah, we're not looking for accredited investors for this particular one.
Okay.
It's because it's a five. If you're familiar with the legal terminology, it's 506C. And it has to be, it's not that we will turn away the accredited investors, but we're dealing with 506B, which is sophisticated people who have experience. Basically, we don't need to work specifically with accredited investors. The answer is we will be working with anyone who will come up with money and ideas.
Perfect. Um, so when do you need, I see you needed money by July 30th. When do you need a decision, whether I'm going to invest or not with it?
You can, if you will have at least soft commitment, let's say, I don't know, a week or two. I
Okay.
would say the week or two will be more than enough to make at least a decision if you want to be part of it, and what is your expectation. Obviously, you might have more questions to make your decisions. We're not forcing anyone, we're just offering opportunities.
Sure. Okay, the follow up to that. So this would be for me, I have to pull capital out of this place I'm selling. Right now, I'm looking at July 7th as my closing date. So if I gave you an answer before that, and then in the unlikely scenario that something falls through, is there anything that we have to address with that? Or I don't know if you have, once I sign something or how that works.
Let me answer this question asking you questions. Uh, you selling your property, you want to use that proceeds as a 1031 exchange, or you just want to pay taxes?
So I actually used to have that place as my primary residence before I bought the house I'm in now.
Right.
So as long as I close by July 17th, it still qualifies for 2 out of the last 5 years of being my primary residence. So I should be able to avoid the capital gains off of it.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. Just need to know because if it's a 1031 exchange, we have to keep it separately. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that structure.
I haven't used it yet. I know of it, but I don't know
Yeah, we have to keep it separate accounts, basically. Not separate accounts, but separate entities because your money cannot be commingled with other people's money. So everything has to be separated.
Gotcha. Okay.
It would be the tick structure, right? The tenants in common, Roman.
Yeah, it will be TIC, tenancy in common. So
Yeah.
you will be a separate entity and everyone else will be separate entity as well.
But to answer your question, Burke, I think, if in the unfortunate circumstance, if your deal falls apart and you've committed, I don't think I mean, Roman, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think there's like any obligation, if that
No,
happens. I mean,
Okay.
there's,
we're all in this business. We know how
yeah,
that can be done. What kind of surprises, like I said,
stuff happens.
can arise.
Yeah, I've seen
Yep,
it
stuff
all for
happens.
sure.
Um, Burke, do you have any feedback for us on this deal? I mean, what are your, just initial thoughts on, the property, maybe the area?
Um, it looks interesting. I'm not too familiar with that area specifically. I've got some family actually that lives in Arkansas, so I go down there occasionally, but more the northern side of Arkansas. I do like that the population is growing because that's my biggest concern around here is every place you look at, the population is declining, not going up. So I like that aspect of it. Um, I do want to look a little bit more into, we don't have to do that here. I can do it on my own, but I wanted to look a little bit more at crime stats. Not, I'm just interested of how it fell 18.4%. It seems like a pretty good drop. So I'm curious to see what kind of the history of the place was and stuff before that.
Mhm. We got that information obviously using AI.
Sure. Yep.
I'm fascinated by AI, and I create applications for that one. If you will be interested later on, I can show it to you for specifically done for multifamily. But yes, do your homework, use whatever you need to do because the trust is that's what we're looking for. We're always asking ourselves, who are we for you to put your $50,000 into the deal? Without trust, you cannot do it.
Oh,
Sure.
perfect. And I want to actually highlight you at this point, Roman. Uh, it's not like I'm promoting you. I'm just explaining who's Roman. He's also actually a mentor in a big M1 community, which literally trained the syndicators. He's a mentor over there, and he been doing it for long period of time, right, Roman?
Yeah, actually, idea of
Come
mentoring.
on, you can say it. You're
Yeah,
doing
yeah, yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah.
I mean,
Actually,
I'm just grateful to have this kind of partner.
Yeah.
uh, uh,
That's why I'm trying to highlight him.
what's
He's
Good
he's
business
sharp.
relationship.
what separates me as a mentor? I'm not teaching people how to buy the properties. I'm teaching people how not to buy the properties. Which is comes to the same idea, but you have to see what's wrong. The simple example at this point, let's say three of us, actually it's five of us on the contract. We have to we sign in contract, and we have to put so-called AMD, earnest money deposit, and it's about I believe it's 30 or $35,000 at this point. So we cannot use other people money because that's money at risk. We will put our own money for 30 days at least, and if we will not be able to complete our due diligence, the money will get hard, meaning that no matter what happens, if we cannot raise capital, if we cannot close, $35,000 will stay with the seller. And the reason for that, because I'm telling everyone how serious this business is, because you can and you might lose money in this business. I did. And that's the reason why I create that software that helps people not to lose money on due diligence. It can speed up the decision if they're going to stay, if they're going to back out from the property. Actually, in multifamily like this one, you can back out on day 30 just for any reason. Let's say you don't like the color of the walls, you can back out and you will get your money out and
Cool.
you can get your money back. But it is serious, and it's we putting ourselves at risk, and it's like a little bit stressful at the beginning. But once the property is already under contract, and I mean after closing, we feel really good operating it.
I just want to touch on that real quick. So, Roman and I are probably a dozen projects deep throughout the years, and we've never lost investors' money
That's right.
ever. There was one project that got a little shaky on us, and we did exit. And always our investors are always made whole. That's the most important thing to us.
Yeah, we never have so-called capital call. If they have temporary problems, we put our money in, our personal money. So that's how much involvement we have.
I
We
do
have
like the idea of it being in a smaller town too. That's typically what I've been trying to look at for stuff and where I just sold my duplex at. My only problem with it has been the property management side because you run into the one horse town, so to speak. So, like where I have that duplex at, there is one property manager, and so of course when they don't do things right, there is no alternative. But I assume you guys have your own team for all that and stuff.
I can prove it with my own money, and Sergey can confirm it because the way how we met, he was the broker for the properties in York, Pennsylvania, and I was the one who owned about few doors, let's say 50 doors in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm
And
familiar with York too.
How
yeah,
are you? Yeah, if you're ever
Yeah,
in town, make sure you let me know.
yeah, we'll do. I took a few. I went to the Penn State campus over there for a few classes over the summer, and every once in a while I go over there for work as well. So
Nice Harley Davidson plan.
Yeah, yeah. But the
Yeah.
Penn State in York is closing. It's kind of a big deal right now.
Really,
Yeah.
they seem to be closing down more and more campuses for them.
Yep. Yep. But apparently, we did some research on the Texarkana one, and they're growing. They're actually building some new buildings. They got some donations, and they're building. I forget if it was like a business center. I can't remember
Yeah,
what.
something.
Uh,
To finish the thought, I would say the way I know how you feel exactly to moving from single family to family houses to bigger one and especially out of state. I specifically sold everything that I own in Pennsylvania and in Philadelphia and moved my funds with partners to York, just specifically to see if I can manage it from the distance, to be out of state owner. So I put more than $250,000 just to prove the point that it's possible.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and that's actually something I think for myself because I'm a very DIY person. I do a lot of woodworking. I have $40,000 worth of woodworking equipment that I'm always building stuff. So I think for me, I need to be further away from things because I'm tempted to do it myself. And because of
Exactly.
my work schedule, it seems like a great idea until I actually start trying to commit the time to it because I'm always on the road.
Yeah. We all went through that. Alex still doing that by himself. I was doing it for 15 years. Sergio is doing it. And that's the reason why we switched to multifamily. From now on, we're not dealing with toilets and tenants. We're managing the managers. We have
Yeah.
weekly meetings with management company, and our famous joke is, and everyone is laughing already because every time we say to our manager, look, Denise, it should be boring business. We should be collecting and not doing anything. Once it will be boring, you don't see us, we don't see you. We don't like you, you don't like us. But let's make it boring. So nothing should excite anyone. We should get money and be happy and move to the next one. That's what we are for, boring business.
For
Yeah,
sure.
and just to circle back to your, management question, kind of that is pretty much our biggest competitive advantage down there is just, there's 22 units, create a little bit of scale. And when Roman and I flew down to look at that building, we went around Roman, what, 5 or 6 real estate offices,
Yeah.
interviewed managers. I mean, we've done this dozens of times now. And we don't always pick the right one right away. Sometimes we do switch a manager, but we really hit the nail on the head with this one. She's doing a great job. We have a weekly meeting with her. She's keeping the place full, clean, and it's performing really, really well.
And your expense ratio as for the last 9 months, about 23%, which is great, which
She's not
allows
blowing our money.
us to do distribution with no problems.
So
And management, just for your small short education, the change of management is complete disaster, and especially in multifamily. It is disaster. It's bad enough when you're changing it on a smaller scale, but on the big one, it is disaster. And to the point, why they having problems with the property, the sellers, because of management. The management doesn't do anything at all. And in indication of that, they have vacant units for quite a few months, like for 4 or 5 months. And our management went through that units, and she made the pictures. And first thing I saw that the trash was still there. So nobody really took care of that. At least clean it up. At least make it presentable. So the management proved to be not doing anything at all.
Yeah, it's definitely the big issue with that. And when she went out there too, these units are first of all they're a nicer area than where we are. So she thinks the days on market for these to get full will be half of what we are on our Pine Street property. That's more low income area. This is more workforce. So she thinks she said there's no reason why these should be vacant because the vacancy in that area is it's full. So
And another twist to this investment, because we were surprised with the 22 units that we acquired. 3 of them were used as Airbnb.
Okay.
And we thought that it's the stupidest idea because in C type of area in multifamily and 22 units, I don't want anyone to spend night and create some kind of problems for other residents. But we changed a little bit the structure. So right now we're using that Airbnb on 3 units. But the shortest stay should be at least like 4 or 5 days. So it creates different type of people who move in. Mostly, one of them is always occupied by one person. He is coming every month for 12 days, and it's more than enough to cover at least 1 month in comparison year-over-year rent. So if the units are 50% occupied, we're good. So we will be using this idea on that 60 units. Maybe we can start 1 or 2 because proximity of the college, and that might be interesting for a lot of people.
Correct.
Mhm.
And as well as that 22 unit, it doesn't have a pool, and the good stuff we're planning to restart on this 60 unit apartment complex. So we'll see how it's gonna go. Plus the area is better. We actually, the last time we spoke, I spoke with you, we closed in October 2025 on that 22 unit in Texas.
Okay.
And basically we were able to stabilize Roman, correct me if I'm right, that was like took what, month and a half, 2 months. And we're really good with the return of investments. We pay our investors from day one that 7% quarterly, and we able to reach 20, 21 and a half return of investment a year right now, which
Yeah, but
is,
yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
we don't want to show 21. We don't want to show our
Yeah,
underwriting because
yeah,
it's a
we
little bit too
absolutely.
optimistic. But so
Yeah,
conservatively, 17 to 20% should excite people.
Okay.
Uh, and what else I want to? Yeah, and because the area is a little bit better, and the rent should be a little bit better, so we don't have any issue with understanding how the management will work. That's the biggest advantage. Because in that multifamily, the management is actually the partner who brings you money.
yep.
It-
That's
it-
No,
it's,
one of our main partners actually.
and let me tell you, we like honesty on our manager because we operate in coin operating uh, laundry, and it would be really easy for manager or anyone for the handyman to pocket a little bit of change.
yeah,
Every month we have about $400 in the bank account.
it's good.
So
Um,
that shows if the property manager working with you, that's the one thing. But most of the managers, not most, but a lot of the managers working for themselves. It's a completely different idea. They think if they will make money, whatever left will be given to the landlords. No, it should be different. If we will make money, the management will make money. So
Yeah.
the management and bank, your two biggest partners. The bank is because the bank is giving you most of the capital to close actually for the same percentage. If we're paying right now we're paying about what six and change on our existing property. So we're offering the same thing to bank as we're offering to investors. Difference only is payments. We have to pay monthly to the bank and we're paying quarterly to investors. That's all. But the bank is biggest partners. That's how we treat that. And the management who actually provide it. And also how we set it up, how the structurally we're doing this. We set up our expectation to the management. We basically gave them what the rent roll should be per month. Let's say $16,000 per month. That's your goal. We have 2 months to stabilize it. That's your goal. That's the number that we're looking for. And she did it right. We hit that number every month in a little bit exceeding that number. So I hope that I answered the question about management.
yes.
Also, I want to add up regarding like how we handle and how we check the management. I mean, yes, a management company is great, but we have a full access to the management software online. So we literally twice a week we check in what's the status, what's been done, what kind of expenses. So basically they're uploading all informations online. So we as a GP, we monitor this thing. It's not like we hired the management company and wow, they're great and they're doing whatever, for the success. No, we literally monitoring the day-to-day operations.
Yep. And that's practice that a lot of management company quite surprised when we requesting give us the same rights, access rights as you are. So we want to know what's going on. Some of them a little bit resistant, but they said if it's not going to work, we're not going to hire you. We want to see what's going on.
So now, do you see anything? It looks like it's pretty far away, and I wouldn't think so with that small town, but is it having any of the same effects up in that area as like what the Austin market and stuff's gone through where prices are dropping stuff? Okay.
Nope. Nope.
They didn't have a huge like I think Austin overbuilt. I think that was the problem there.
And overheated with the market. I remember when we were in that meeting, we were talking about those big cities,
Yeah.
and Brandon Turner was talking about the same thing. But that's the reason, like, remember, we in a small town, like it's like bigger city, more hype the city got, more heat the city. Like, for example, when the market is good, everybody like invest in those big cities, and they getting, overpriced. Like what we're doing, we're trying to stay away from those big cities, where the market is a little bit more stable. It's not hyped market, so
Yeah.
literally it's organic growth. That's the reason like we're staying away from the those big cities.
Makes
Because remember that Brandon Turner said like, okay, he got like tons of like properties over there. The hype started going down, and he's in a situation he was losing the money on this property. That's why he was like started like starting selling them. And that's the hype. We are not following the hype. Our idea is organic growth and stability. That's why we into the business. We're not trying to catch the stars.
And the high schools is highly rated.
Yeah.
So, and we saw that brand new building, by the way. And if you will be looking for workforce, it has like military uh, production, and it has tire plane, like a Goodyear, I believe, or something.
Okay.
There's a good name, and it has heavy presence of medical field because the nurses and all that, all those population goes there. And it's of course it's a lot of service jobs.
Would it be close enough? I don't know if you guys looked at it or if you interested at all for any, if there's vacancy and stuff, would you be looking at doing like any type of like corporate housing kind of deal or like midterm rental kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
we already approached our management approached another agency that provides even if it provides subsidies, but it's a different subsidies versus Section 8. It's a little bit different structure, but that's what we're looking for as well because it's stability. Uh, Actually, location-wise, if you look at that, it's 2.5 hours from Dallas and about 2 hours from Little Rock.
Okay.
I mean, I also didn't share it with our team yet. I'm also connected with the person who was actually part of that real estate event, and he specialized in the midterm rentals. And I'm going back and forth with him how to structure and add him up at his service to our multifamily business,
Okay.
which would
Actually,
benefit both of us. But I'm still
example.
working on it. That's one of my separate thing. I'm trying to, integrate this thing in the multifamily apartment complex, especially with our business.
Example of that what I mentioned during presentation. One gentleman who comes in every month and stay there for 12 days. And 12 days his total rent it's more than like $1,200 versus if we will be renting it out month by month, we will be collecting about 800, maybe 750. So 12 days, we're good for a month.
Yeah, that makes life nice.
Yeah, so and we're looking for midterm, like travel nurses, anything that will work this way, because it's a medical facilities and anything else. Yeah,
Sure. Well, I think that's most of my questions for right now.
good.
Right.
I think
Look,
it's
that's why
product.
you,
Yeah, I think it's a really productive meeting right now.
Yeah, thanks for your time today, Bert.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for yours.
Also, one more thing, that's why we basically added up all information. And Roman, can you add up back to the last slide where it has a QR code with our information as well as the website?
Let me see.
It's
Let
gonna
me
light
share
it up.
that one. Let me share this one.
Last page of the full presentation.
This one, right?
Yes, Brooke, right here you see our QR code. That's
Yes.
right side, that's my information, left side is Roman, and as well as this both Blink cards, you have Wellness Holding website over there as well.
You can check wellnessholdings.com.
Mhm.
And you can see what we're doing and what we own and what our strategy, and you can see a couple videos about our previous presentations and all that. This one will be also on that website as well.
Okay, perfect.
Burke, I have a quick question to you.
Sure.
How do you feel about presentation, what we got in here? Any thoughts, like personal thoughts, feedbacks?
I think it was really good. Be honest, it's my first time going through one of these, so it's kind of new to hear myself. So, um, but it looks like a promising property, and the presentation looked very good on it.
Got it.
Thank you.
Got it.
Thank you.
I also attached a couple files and the email to you, but it's about cost segregation. It's part of the great benefit in the multifamily apartment complex business, the one we conduct. Once you have a chance, no force, go over. It's very educational. That's why like I strongly believe that the people who invest, they gotta have idea how this business operates, what's the benefits. That's why we don't push people, we don't press. One of our idea to educate, to give information about those great
Yeah,
opportunity and how to find
because
it.
we want to have educated partners. Because
Exactly.
right,
Exactly. It's the
the
thing.
more you will know about that, the more you will know about risk and challenges and benefits, the better you will become, and we will have less headache.
Sure.
Yeah, we really love what we're doing, That's
Yeah.
it. That's why.
Let me tell you, at the very end, we usually we're doing quarterly distribution and quarterly meetings with our investors. The last meeting in May, we call it for 7 o'clock, and it was me and Alex. We were sitting there for 20 minutes, and I said, "What the hell? Nobody shows up." And Alex make good point, because we're paying money. If we pay money, who cares? If we
That's
wouldn't pay money, they will show up at midnight.
that's a beautiful part of passive investment. Everything is good. The people fine. They getting their checks. What the hell. It means
Everybody's happy.
Do I need to know what percentage of occupancy do you have? I have my money, right?
Yeah.
That's
it's about the trust. It's a lot about the trust. That's why we're so transparent and you know really like doing business with the people.
yeah, that's one of our slogan, doing business with people like you and people we like. That's our slogan. Let me just stop recording and let just think and
Very good.